Chips and I recently spent the day planting over 200 pansies for a family member of ours who we really love and who's recently been diagnosed with cancer. We're in pansy heaven right now, picking out some pansies for a friend and some for ourselves, and there's so many pretty colors. And I wanted to share this with you guys because what I'm going to remember forever from that day has already changed my life just in the short time that I have been carrying this pansy-filled memory around in my heart. And it's not even really the fact that we planted so many pansies or how many colors they were in or how beautiful the last of the autumn leaves looked falling down around us while we planted pansy after pansy after pansy, and the little tiny pansy heads all lifted up like they were singing together, and the birds that would swoop in and stare at us, and the way the squirrels were chattering and trying to figure out what we were doing to the garden. Those are all precious memories, but they're not the thing that hasn't left me and the thing that I just feel like I really need to share about all of this. What I really remember about that day is that Chips was creating a magical moment for someone that he loves with all of his heart. And that feeling, I feel like it's transformed my life. And to put some context into this, for those of you guys who don't know, I'm used to chronic diseases. I'm very used to having someone that I love deeply have a chronic illness that I can't do anything to fix, but that still needs maintained and that needs help. My mother was bedridden by the time I was 10 years old, and she still has lupus. At the time, there wasn't a lot known about lupus, so she wasn't able to get a lot of the effective early treatments that are beginning to show up now. And to this day, she's still bedridden, and her health is still constantly at odds with lupus. And when I was 14, my father suffered a injury to his spine that resulted in him being permanently disabled as well. So I grew up for most of my life with my parents not really even able to walk without pain. They don't live a day without pain. So I'm used to chronic illness. I'm used to chronic conditions, and I'm used to the people that you love having medical conditions that need attention. And it's been that way for almost as long as I can remember in my family. And what I forgot, and what Chip showed me on this day that we planted over 200 pansies, was that there's more to helping those you love than just doing your best to try to take care of the practicalities and to try to fix things. And I know that sounds really obvious, but if you've ever been a caretaker for someone, you know how when it doesn't ever end, when this isn't going to get better, how day in and day out, after a while you really start focusing on the practicalities of what needs done to try to to take care physically of this person, what needs done to try to take care of the tangled finances, and fighting with insurance has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. What needs done in order to see where their pain management is for the day. I even went to nursing school to do all these things. And in nursing school, they taught us not only about how to take care of all those practicalities, and even a little bit about how to try to protect our patients from the insurance stuff, which in the United States is a mess, but also we were taught to try to build up the dignity of the people we cared for. And I remember that really helped me, because when it's your parents, like my mom and dad, who have conditions, and they're not quite able to fulfill what you think as a 12, 14, 18-year-old. I mean, I couldn't even go on walks with my parents. I don't remember the last time my mom was in a grocery store. When you get surrounded by those kinds of things, you fall into just trying to survive. And you fall into just trying to maintain the extra daily work. Taking care of ourselves and trying to grow as the people that we are is so much work already every day for all of us. Adding on top of that chronic pain, adding on top of that the kind of emotional crisis of knowing that there's not going to be an end to this until an end. Adding on top of that all of the other work that comes around with it, making sure oxygen tanks are taken care of, and making sure that all the medicine is in the right place and that the caps aren't too strong, so that if the arthritis is really bad and the joints today, you can undo it. Those kinds of things have been the bulk of my idea of how you take care of family and loved ones. Those kinds of things, since I was very little, have been the bulk of what I thought we did to take care of those we loved. Like I said, I went to nursing school, not really to become a nurse, but to try to learn how to take care of my parents better. And somewhere in all of that, especially as the eldest child and with my two younger brothers and my younger sister, I really felt like I had to just make this to-do list, this really effective, practical to-do list, and take care of everything. And nursing school introduced the idea of also trying to promote dignity and independence to some degree in those we care for as well, which I think is really important. But no one until the moment when Chips looked at me and he said, "We're getting pansies." And then when we went to the store, and I thought we were getting maybe one flat of pansies, and he looked at the whole row, and he looked at me, and he looked at the flowers, and he said, "We're getting all of them." And then he actually did it. Nowhere in the lessons I've learned about caring for those we love over a lifetime of doing my best to try to meet those expectations, nowhere in 31 years of living has anyone reminded me of making sure that life is still magical and that that matters for those we love too. And that's the lesson I'm never going to forget now. I can't look at a pansy and not think magic. Remember to share the magic of being alive with those we love. And that's one of the reasons I love Chips with all my heart. Not only does he take care of the practical things for those we care about, not only does he think about those practical elements that, you know, I learned through growing up, and then I learned in nursing school about how to take care of those who need the extra help, who have these things that are never going to go away, and who have all this extra work and pain and everything harder that they need help with, and you love them, so you want to help them. Nowhere in all of my life has anyone displayed to me with more beauty and clarity how the essence of love is really best felt, not only with all those practical things, but sharing something magical about being alive. And I guess in the past I've just been so caught up in the never-ending list of practical things I felt like I needed to do with my family, the never-ending list of companies I needed to call so they would stop taking advantage of my poor parents, and the never-ending list of things that needed cleaned or things that needed organized or appointments that needed done, and the never-ending list of practical cleaning that needed done. And I think felt in my heart that if I just got through that whole list, then things wouldn't be better, but they would be okay. And then I could try to figure out what life meant after that. And I just feel like Chips came in, and with the act of planting these hundreds of pansies for someone we love who is now going through their own chronic condition, reminded me that all of those things are important. But the most important thing that connects two hearts together the most, that really shares what makes life worth living, is sharing that magic. So that's the life lesson I wanted to share with you guys too, because I feel like I should have learned it by now, and somehow my head was just full of practicality and to-do list and a never-ending sense of struggle. And ever since that day with the pansies, I look at everything differently. I look around myself and ask not only what needs cleaned, what needs done, but is there something magical I could share with the people that I care about right now? And I hope by sharing this lesson with you guys, maybe you won't have to go so long without being able to have that as a special thought and a way to be able to connect you to those that you care about. So thank you guys. I know this is kind of silly and heavy, but life has been a whirlwind lately, and I'm hoping to catch up on everything and share some more of the magical moments with all of you.